Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you're not caught in a traffic jam today or something. Anyway, let's get started. Let me turn this off. Okay, here we go. Here's a great one from Melissa. That's a great movie. Simply awesome. Alright, a word from our sponsors. That in this vlog, we're not going to have a simultaneous sip of coffee or anything like that. So just getting straight news. MSN.com. All right, here we go. Again, the first piece of news is the 110 plus hottest Cyber Monday deals. I missed out some deals this past weekend. It's too bad. Supreme Court poised to break silence on gun rights. If all those places had just gone ahead and did what they're supposed to, let people who follow the law buy their guns, then we wouldn't be here. But then New York City, Washington D.C., Chicago, and all those places, they had it coming. China slapped sanctions on U.S. over Hong Kong unrest. Australia rolls out cell phone detection cameras. It's for people who are driving. No driving and cell phone at the same time. Turning 65. The nice videos of the day. Girls waiting on the bus. Oh, by the way, in case you know who this is, Zammy, the friendly dog. He is having an Indiegogo campaign for his first children's book. I'm going to provide a link later, and please go ahead and support Zammy if you love sheepadoodles, the giant sheepadoodle. You have to watch his videos to understand what's going on. But Zammy is awesome. Everybody loves Zammy. Anyway, moving on. People who became billionaires in 2019. I have no idea who that is. Sofia Vergara? Somebody? How number of billionaires has changed over time. 35, that's something that what was it like? The fifth slide of the day for MSN.com. Why do you care how many billionaires there are? There's not going to be enough of them to fund the Elizabeth Warren's plan anyway. And 35 best Cyber Monday deals of 2019. Not the 110 plus best deals, but the 35 best deals. And more than 50 cars pile up on I-68 crash due to fog near the DC area. Wizards lose 150 to 125. These NBA scores points just keep going up and up. Turn off the sunshine. White shade is a mark of privilege in Los Angeles. Los Angeles is just... There's too many things going on there. Prosecutors usually send people to prison. These are getting them out. Alright. Some other interesting news. Laughlin's daughter breaks silence amid scandal. I mean, why do people listen to those people anyway? I mean, I guess I wouldn't understand what those Instagram influencers are all about. Of course, I'm making a video right now, so I'm trying to get in the game too. Well, this is more for practicing my speaking skills and thinking skills. But anyway, Florida woman fakes medical issue on a plane to get a bigger seat. Well, those seats are very awesome, and people will do everything they can to get on there. All right. Now, the issue of the day. I want to talk to you guys about two pieces of news I saw earlier. The first one is that the U.S. Indian Service apparently is having a lot of doctors that are not qualified. Well, they're qualified. Well, they went through medical school and they have their MD or OD. But the problem for them was many of them had lost their board certifications. In other words, hospital privileges because of medical mistakes and malpractices back then. And now they're working for the U.S. Indian Health Service because the Indian Health Service is desperately short of doctors. They're the ones that provide medical care on Indian reservations. There's a few other groups, similar groups in the U.S. government. For example, working for underserved areas, working for the what do they call it? Working for the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration, stuff like that. But anyway, so Indian Health Service is short of doctors, and therefore they have to hire these doctors who have lost their board certifications and operating under supervision, of course. And but still, they had some medical malpractice within the Indian Health Service. Hurt some Native Americans, and they cannot sue, obviously, the U.S. government because the U.S. government is immune from most lawsuits, and unless Congress agrees to provide for the lawsuit and pay for settlements, and these doctors themselves, at most, they can only be laid off. They don't have insurance liabilities in most cases because they were working as employees, agents of the U.S. government. This is similar to another article that that I just saw yesterday, and this article is about It's a very interesting article about the Planned Parenthood and the abortion providers. It's a very interesting article, even regardless of where you are on the abortion issue, because it provides a glimpse into a very interesting strategic thinking and dealing with their strategic circumstances. A few years ago, I had said that Planned Parenthood, if they knew what was good for them, would divest the abortion providing business, separated from the rest of their operations, so that they can continue to receive Medicaid funding and just focus on providing providing women's health care for people who are underserved, and subsidize women's care in general, not just Medicaid, but also low-cost subsidy directly. And then, if necessary, they can provide referrals and transportation to the abortion clinics, which may be far away. And this way, they can be everywhere. The Planned Parenthood clinics themselves, while they can continue to provide abortion services in a more cost-efficient way. Because another big, other than just hold all the legal fights that Planned Parenthood and abortion in general have, the biggest strategic problem, I've said this several times, for abortion in the United States is that there are not enough women who want abortions, and therefore they just don't have the money, which is why you see the abortion clinics fighting against the requirement to have hospital admitting privileges for their doctors. What does that mean? It means that the doctors is good enough, have met all the requirements so that he can work in a hospital. He can, if there's any complications, he can get the patient from the clinic to the hospital, and that he can go to the hospital to work. Now, why is it that right now this is such a big problem for the abortion clinics? Because they cannot afford to pay for getting hospital admission privileges for their doctors, because they don't make enough money, because there's not enough people needing abortions, wanting abortion. And also, doctors who don't have admission privileges are cheaper, because in many cases they have such high malpractice rates. They lost their admission privileges because of previous malpractice, which is why we have the Gosnell situation in Philadelphia, because that clinic couldn't afford to pay for better doctors, so they had to bring Dr. Gosnell in there, and who went ahead and killed a lot of women because of his medical incompetence. Now, obviously, this is not something that the abortion clinics deliberately want to do, but they are forced into the strategic dilemma that they cannot afford. There's not enough demand. They don't have enough income to pay for higher quality of doctors. Therefore, looking at it strategically, the answer is very clear. They have to consolidate into smaller, into fewer locations, so that they can have enough volume of business, so that they can pay for higher quality doctors, pay for better care for their people, and also explore remote delivery options, like mail order pharmacy and stuff for Plan B and the others. So that's why I said Planned Parenthood should have done a few years ago, if they had any sense in them. And it turns out that they actually are doing something like that. At this time, Planned Parenthood is only responsible for about 40% of all abortions in the United States, and maybe less. In some places, like this article mentioned Alabama, there was one major clinic that not affiliated with Planned Parenthood that's doing almost all the abortions in Alabama. Planned Parenthood itself is not doing any abortion operations right now in Alabama. They used to have 2-3 locations, but those locations are no longer providing abortion services. I don't know if they're intentionally following the strategy I had laid out earlier, but it is either way, that's what's going on in the abortion business. So another issue that they talked about is that abortion customers are more diverse. They're not the same people that used to demand abortion services 50 years ago when Planned Parenthood first started. So the abortion providers are trying to support the new customer demographic, and they are trying to de-emphasize abortion services directly and focusing more on providing social justice medical care to serve the underserved population, which is again interesting in that it potentially means the abortion providers may, despite what Planned Parenthood says, and despite all the money people keep donating to Planned Parenthood, that the abortion service providers themselves may be following the customer and start doing less abortions just because there aren't enough customers wanting abortions, like I said earlier. Another thing that was interesting to note was that Planned Parenthood themselves are not giving these other abortion clinics money. Like say a woman comes to a Planned Parenthood clinic and then decide that she wants to have an abortion. Planned Parenthood might tell her about volunteers who can drive her to the real clinic that's doing abortion, but they're not going to help her get the money to pay for it. And Planned Parenthood itself is not giving any support to all these other 60% of all abortion operation providers. Instead, they only get involved when there's a legal dispute, like Alabama and Georgia and these other places where they pass those abortion ban laws for litigation. But otherwise, they're just leaving all these abortion providers to the wind, which it's interesting how that goes, why that's happening. If they want to sink themselves, and that's I don't support pro-choice, so that's no skin off my back. But it's still something very interesting to read about their disputes and internal dynamics. And as I always say, it's very important. It's important to not just understand yourself, but like Sun Tzu said, you also need to understand the enemy, and you need to read about what's going on. Just because the subject matter is maybe taboo doesn't mean you should stop looking into it. Some people maybe they cannot, but otherwise, yeah. So, without further ado, the most important part of this vlog, the karaoke. There we go.别管以后将如何结束，至少我们曾经相聚过。不必费心地彼此约束，更不需要言语的承诺。只要我们曾经拥有过，对你我来讲已经足够。人的一生有许多回忆，只愿你的追忆有个我。All right. I'm running out of time, so have a good Monday, happy Monday. Have a good start of the week. See you later.